Okay, folks, welcome to Disco Dave's Pub Reviews. Now, today is going to be slightly different. I am reviewing a pub. In fact, I caught a train from Birmingham New Street 51 minutes later, having headed southeast. Have a guess where I ended up? Stay tuned to find out. Because first, I'm going to talk a little bit about my life, what I do, how I live it, and that includes being a full-time carer. So that is extremely demanding. And I'm going to tell you first how I got the name Disco Dave. So back in 2001, wow, that seems a long time ago, I went travelling to Australia. I was 32 years old and I'd never really done much. The year before, I'd been to New Zealand. That was pretty much the only thing I'd ever done. I'd went for 6 weeks on my own, had a great time. I finally plucked up the courage to go. And then that led to the whole world being opened up to me. So I saved up. Then I was actually made redundant. So in 2001, I set off and spent 9 months in Australia and had a great time. My world changed once I'd been on that trip. I came out of my shell and I actually hung out with a lot of other British people going on my own. I knew I had to make friends quickly or it would have been pretty boring. And the one day on a Friday evening, we were all sat in the courtyard outside the backpackers where we were staying, and someone said, Dave, because obviously I wasn't called Disco Dave then, what you doing tonight? Friday evening, I said, we're in Australia, let's have some fun. So I said, I'm going to go down the local, which is at the end of the road from the backpackers, and then I'm going to head into Sydney, into the centre, and go to an 80s club. Someone shouted, oh, you like a bit of 80s? And I said, I do, yes. And then someone else on a different table said, what about the 70s? And I said, yeah, I don't mind a bit of 70s, a bit of disco. Of course, someone immediately shouted, Disco Dave! And it stuck. I said, no. I don't want to be called Disco Dave. I'm not really massive about the 70s. But that was the fatal mistake, of course. And they ended up calling it me for the rest of my time in Australia, about another 4 or 5 months. So I got used to it. And then in the end, when I came back to the UK, I thought to myself, I quite like that now. It's a little bit different rather than boring old Dave. So let's do it. Let's create a new person. I'm more sort of flamboyant now. I'm a bit more extroverted or very extroverted. And I'm going to be Disco Dave and I'm going to introduce myself as Disco Dave to new people that I meet. When I applied for jobs after I'd got back, having spent all my money, I'd been made redundant. So I took all that with me to Australia, having 10 years service, and had a great time with the money. And then I came back with no money. So there. But I had to go for jobs, of course, and job interviews. And I introduced myself as Disco Dave when I was at the interviews, as silly as that may sound. And they asked me what I'd been doing for the previous year, as there was nothing on my CV. And I said, I've been travelling around Australia and I'm now called Disco Dave. And that was it, really. That's how it all started. So I'm a full-time carer for my brother. So job-wise, I am self-employed and work from home. Now, the carer bit is very demanding, as anyone of you that is or has been a carer will know. There's just the two of us. We live in the same house, and he's very dependent on me. He unfortunately is blind and is also suffering from a brain tumour. So obviously not in the best of health. Now, that has a big impact on his life, of course, but a big impact on mine too. So I pretty much have to do most things for him. I'm not going to go into details, obviously, but I now work from home to cater for being able to look after him. And the jobs that I do are, well, telesales is one of them, which I work with companies around the UK and get their leads for them. It is seasonal, so I can't work all the time. And my other job is, as some of you will know, it's kind of part-time now. I run an entertainment agency. Unfortunately, that is part-time purely due to the lack of hours in the week that I have spare. And, the care side of things, you don't switch off. It's 24/7, literally. Even on the times when I'm not here, you're still wondering if everything is okay back home, etc. And of course, the majority of the time I am actually here. Okay, so I love the pub, and I'm restricted now in when I go to the pub. and I don't mean that in a bad way, it's just the way it is, you know, that's life. So the entertainment agency fits in with, you know, being in pubs, etc. And the Disco Dave pub review, I go to pubs still, not as much as I used to, so I just had the fun idea of recording when I'm in there with whoever I've gone with. Some of the first two guests actually are singers from the entertainment agency. I've met a lot of people, and you know, some of them have become friends, and I've gone to the pub with them, etc. Socially. So you know, we have a good time, and I thought, why not record and see if I can put together a little channel for a bit of fun. Okay, that's enough about me. Let's get on to this week's pub review. Now, this particular pub, they do have entertainment, and they don't do food. So this is the first one I've done without food. So here we go. Let's find out where I went. We're in the Wheatsheaf in Banbury. Wow, this is the best pub in Banbury in my opinion. So there. Now I've shown you earlier, there's a dartboard. Yes, I love a bit of dart. And if you followed me around, there's a pool table as well. That was closed off, of course, but don't panic. We've been playing pool earlier in the day, so that was just a one-off. I think there's a darts match tonight, and they've closed the pool table off. And I'm here with my friend Ian. He's not on the footage, but he's had a good time. We've had a few drinks and we're happy. So there. So this pub, the Wheatsheaf, there's live entertainment. So there you have it, folks. What a great pub. Dartboards, pool table, jukebox. Brilliant. Now we put our tunes on the jukebox and they let us have it on loud. They turned it up in the speakers by the pool table. So we were playing pool, listening to our tunes. Now there is a stage and they have live entertainment at the weekends. So that can be checked out to see what's going on. Now before we actually got to the pub, we passed a shop and there was a TV in the window with a sign on it saying, TV for sale, only £1, but stuck on full volume. Now I looked up at the sign and I thought to myself, you just can't turn that down, can you? Anyway, if you've enjoyed this video, please subscribe to the channel, like the actual video and add a comment. Have you been to Banbury? Have you been to the Wheatsheaf? Let me know what you think. Until next time, see you later.